Welcome back to Devotions. I'm your host, Jaden, and today we're going to be getting right into the scripture. So, today, I'm on a bit of a interesting time schedule, so I figured I'd just cut all the weeds out of the way and just get right into it. So today we're going to be reading, as you can see on screen, from Jeremiah 17. This is something a little different. This is an actual story, and it has some stuff related to the general Christian public, or the population of general Christians. But a lot of this is talking specifically about Judah, or Judah specifically. So we will read it and we will talk about it as best we can. So, Jeremiah 17. Judah's sin and punishment. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil, and the high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Thus saith the Lord, Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from the yielding of fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. As the partridge sitteth on eggs, and hatcheth them not, so he that getteth riches, and not by right, shall leave them in the midst of his days, and at his end shall be a fool. A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. O Lord, the hope of Israel, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth, because they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living waters. And then we come to the last few sections here. This is quite a longer scripture, so that's why I'm going a little quick. And I do have notes. I think I'm going to start putting kind of very minor notes, just so I have something to follow, because I find the lack of quality to be kind of concerning. Even if it is just me trying to explore my own personal opinions of what I think I'm reading. But if I have something written down on paper, or in this case in digital form, that I can follow for future reference, so I'm not so tongue-tied about certain topics, and I'm not repeating myself over and over again. It's really just an attempt to make a quality jump for you guys, more so than for me. So anyway, we will continue. Starting with 14, Jeremiah prays for deliverance. Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved, for thou art my praise. Behold, they say unto me, Where is the word of the Lord? Let it come now. As for me, I am not hastened from being a pastor to follow thee, neither have I desired the woeful day. Thou knowest that which came out of my lips was right before thee. Be not a terror unto me. Thou art my hope in the day of evil. Let them be confounded that persecute me, but let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. That's an interesting phrase. Double destruction. And in the final section, hallow the Sabbath day, or honor the Sabbath day, if you will. Starting with 19. Thus saith the Lord unto me, Go and stand in the gate of the children of the people, whereby the kings of Judah come in, and by the which they go out. Excuse me. And in all the gates of Jerusalem. And say unto them, Hear ye the word of the Lord, ye kings of Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, that enter in by these gates. Thus saith the Lord, Take heed to yourself, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your house on the Sabbath day. Neither do ye any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their necks stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, saith the Lord, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein. Then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes, sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses. They and their princes, the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and this city shall remain forever. And then 26, And they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings, and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of the Lord. And finally, But if ye will not hearken unto me, to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then I will kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the places of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched. That's pretty brutal right there, boys. So yeah, I'm going to go to the other perspective here. Get the other microphone, push that one out of the way, and we will talk about it. So, there are a lot to unpack, a few things that can relate to us, and ultimately what this is about and what it's covering. So first, Jeremiah 17 is about the deep-rooted sin of Judah, the contrast between trusting humans versus trusting God, and the necessity of keeping the Sabbath. It features famous verses on the deceitfulness of the human heart and being a tree planted by the water, as we read early on. The first part, trust versus self-reliance. The desert shrub and the fruitful tree. Jeremiah contrasts two types of people. Those who trust in human strength and turn from God are likely a lonely bush in a dry desert waste, whereas those who trust in the Lord are likely a healthy tree planted near a stream that stays green and bears fruit even in a year of drought. Basically, that's the biggest part of the scripture that can relate to not just those of Judah, but to everyone, all of us, Christian or not. Put your trust in God rather than men, and you will be like a tree planted by the water, bearing fruit even in times of trouble, or being fruitful as in your Christian walk, even in bad times, not just the good times. And then we have our second section, which is Jeremiah's personal prayer. He calls for healing as he faces heavy mocking and persecution from his own people for his harsh prophecies. He turns to God in prayer, asking for personal healing and protection, and affirming that God is his true refuge in times of disaster, as he should be for us. God should be our refuge and our strength, and we should always trust him to be so, just as in the first part. We trust him. We are like a tree planted by the water. We trust him. He is our protector. He will deliver us from evil. You just got to trust him. And then finally, we have the command of the Sabbath, or hallowing the Sabbath, as we've already read in the final parts of the scripture. It's, first of all, a test of obedience, where God tells God tells Jeremiah to stand at the gates of Jerusalem and warn the people to stop carrying loads or doing business on the Sabbath day. Now, some people think the Sabbath day is Saturday. Other people think I would say most people believe that the Sabbath day is Sunday. I'm gonna be real, I don't really know. I'm not a theologian, and so I don't really know when the Sabbath day is. I've heard a lot lately that it's Saturday, but I mean, for hundreds of years, we've been going to church on Sunday. So, I mean, really, I don't think it matters. I think any day you can go to church, but I think specifically the Sabbath day is, you don't buy, you don't sell, you don't work. You relax, you rest like God rested on the seventh day, which I guess in that case would be Saturday. And a lot of people do rest on Saturday. So I don't know. That's a bit of a toss up for me. But there is one more part to this. That being the consequences and promises. If the people respect, the people mean the people of Judah, but also us, but specifically in the story, the people of Judah. If the people respected the holy day of rest, they would thrive and remain inhabited by kings and leaders and be prosperous, But if they were to disobey, which they most likely did, based off all the brutality or the brutal truth being spoken in this scripture, God would light an unquenchable fire through the city gates. That's that's about as bad as it gets right there, except for hell itself. God punishing you by lighting your gates on fire so you can neither leave nor enter, and burning it down to the ground and making it unquenchable. And I mean, that's kind of, I don't think this is saying God's going to light you on fire if you don't trust in him for your everyday's needs and, honor the Sabbath, because a lot of people would be on fire right now. A lot of people would be burning and on fire. So no, I don't think that's literally talking it's God's going to light you on fire, but he was going to light the people of Judah on fire. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad, but I mean, that's what it says. Now, whether that actually means fire or he was just going to curse them, be like, a lot of people are going to hate you. A lot of people are going to not like you and going to treat you poorly because you disobeyed my commands. Whatever it's really saying, it's not good. It was definitely not good for them. And it's not good for us. God doesn't like it when we sin. And I'm not saying don't buy stuff on Sundays, or the Sabbath day, but definitely strongly consider doing any work on the Sabbath day, because it's just like, no, you're not going to get burned to death necessarily, but it's just the way I kind of look at it is I've always been raised, don't buy stuff on Sunday, don't spend money, don't go out, don't work on Sundays. And sometimes there's people who just got to make do and they have to work on Sundays. And if that's the case, that's the case. you know. But it does specifically say it was somewhere in there. Let me try to find it. Because it was a scripture that said something about like breaking your back. Where was it? Sorry, I said I was gonna be more yeah, that's what it was. It said in verse 23, but they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff. So basically they worked their necks stiff and did not hallow or respect the Sabbath day. And so I'm just like, it's a day of rest, so rest. But if you have to work, you have to work. But at the same time, like my thing is the morality of it is like, yeah, people have to work regardless, but if I don't show up to the place, that means that's less work they have to do, even if it's not much work at all. You know, make it easier on them. For me, I just don't go out. But that is kind of, for me, just a personal conviction that I just happened to be raised with, and it carried on to my adulthood. So, but yeah, it's not going to be the same for everybody, for sure. But definitely keep it in the back of your mind for later. Well, anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. I certainly did. And I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to share the good word. Bye.